closer to an agreement that would yield a temporary ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. But NPR's Daniel Estrin reports Israel says the parties are still trying to work out the details of what an agreement would look like.
An Egyptian source with direct knowledge.
I don't have a good solid number for when I went to sleep last night, but it was somewhere in the vicinity of 1:30. I woke at 8:45, 7+ hours later, and by the time I was out and starting my walk, it was a little after 11. 2 hours and 15 minutes to actually get going. A little provisional feeding of the strays, 2 cups of coffee in me, and yeah, still way too long. I think 135 minutes from waking to hitting the road. But on the other hand, at this time of year, it's sort of just barely warm enough at 11 o'clock to get going on a good walk. Today we are crashing through the Bash Gate. So from the point which I call the Oasis and the DOT calls the rest area, where we started, down past the Bash Gate, up to the point where the allegedly closed road starts to really get ugly, is a mile, which means that today is a 2-mile walk, which is much better than I've done in months. I may not be all that good at making myself happy, but I am doing pretty good at being good. That's the point we're at now. 2 miles. Here is where the fragmentary paved road turns into mud. Yesterday I drove a ways into that mud, and my truck is paying the price. That's probably my tire track right there. All of this wet is snow melt, perhaps more precisely sleet melt from the last storm a couple of days ago. We're in a period between storms right now. 4 or 5 days where the worst we have to contend with is high cloud. At the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the clouds are supposed to intensify and make it not nearly as bright and nice, but that's the worst of what we have to contend with over the weekend. No measurable precipitation. And then on Monday we go back to this, more or less. 55-degree days. Nights either side of the freezing mark. So, can't quite say that winter is over yet, but I'll take it. Better than it's been. So, I'm stopping at this mile point, turning around at this mile point, because I don't want to get my shoes as messy as my truck. I'd sure like to figure out an easy way out here up and over that flood wall. The worst part is not climbing the flood wall, but additionally having to cross the tracks, active tracks. But that would open up a new way to the river and some more challenging, interesting kinds of hikes. Maybe that's a subject for the first modern day, latter day, 2024 3-mile hike. We shall see. I definitely feel like I should have something more momentous to report. Cienega snowmelt. But I don't. And I'm going to let that go and post it anyway. A report with no news in it beyond the little NPR glimpse at the beginning, if you choose to think of NPR as news anymore. A report from the other side of the Bash Gate. I feel strong and competent, but not necessarily very smart. I am in tune with myself on some animal level. That's what walking does. I fired up the roaster today after I got back from the walk. Mainly because I was running out for my own personal needs. That's Lexi. And that is the Kali Mama girl. They too are enjoying the sunshine. Here's what I roasted. This is the sample bag, 8 ounces worth of the Ethiopian Sidama. And since I had this little extra bit of it, I decided to roast it as dark as I could, as fast as I could. This is about as far as you really want to go. It's kind of coming up on second crack. It almost feels oily. So I haven't tried it yet, but it smelled good. I still haven't got the roast of this particular bean perfect yet. As always, like the rest of life, it's a work in progress. In the meantime, I do still have a little bit of the basic stuff left with MCT oil, heavy cream. Later on, I'll eat a little bit of the leftover pork top loin roast. And this is life. That's what it looks like on a Monday.